YouTube? Joe again from Grindhouse Grotto, and today I'm continuing my 7-day miniseries, 7 Days of Alien. And today I'm going to be talking about 1997's Alien Resurrection. Now, a little backstory, my own personal backstory on this film. I didn't see this film right when it first came out. As I got into my teenage years, I wasn't watching movies as much as I was as a younger kid. I was out about, in school, doing the typical high school thing that kids do. I just really wasn't sitting down and watching films like I used to. So this film kind of eluded me until, I would say, the early 2000s. And to be quite honest with you, I really had almost forgotten what had happened in the previous films. By the time I got to Alien Resurrection, I had to really sit down and rewatch the films at that point to know what was going on in Alien Resurrection. So when I had seen Alien Resurrection for the first time, it was like seeing the Alien franchise for the first time again. I had forgotten the plot line of the first three films, and I was just basically going off of this new story. And to be quite honest with you, I actually enjoyed Alien Resurrection as a standalone film. If you didn't see the previous three films in the franchise, going into Alien Resurrection, I think they did a pretty good job of getting new fans into the series without having to see the other films. There's a lot of stuff in this movie, and I'm going to get to it. This movie, although I really do enjoy it, I enjoyed a lot more than I enjoyed the previous film, Alien 3. There's just a lot going on in this film. And I honestly had to watch this again last night, and I've seen this movie several times. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen this film. There's just so much going on in this film that you literally have to write down and take notes to what's going on. And I think that's good because they try to really improve on the previous film. They some of the flaws of Alien 3, I feel like they tried to improve in this film. They saw the response of Alien 3 and the negative reviews it received. And all the things that were bad about Alien 3, I feel like they tried to correct in Alien Resurrection. Some of them were good and some of them were bad. But this review is going to be a little bit different than the previous reviews I've done. I'm just going to kind of go through some of these notes that I've taken. There's just so much stuff to cover. I could make this easily about a 40-minute to an hour-minute long video, and I don't want to do that. I want to just kind of hit the key points in this movie. So this movie was directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet. He's a French director. I don't really think he had a lot of popular films to this point, and to be quite honest, I've done some research and I couldn't really find anything of great significance until this film. So I don't really know what his call to fame was prior to this, but I must say he did a pretty good job. I know this film receives a lot of hate, but there's a lot of good elements about this film, and when I first saw it, I really didn't care for it too much, but over the years this film has I must say, kind of grown on me. I wouldn't say it's at the level of Alien or Aliens, but it definitely has grown on me quite a bit over the years. So I think he did a pretty good job. All right, so this film takes place on the USM Auriga, and I like this film because it brought it back to being on a ship. So we really hadn't seen a movie, an alien movie, that's been on a ship since the original Alien. So like I said earlier in this review, this is a good film, a good starting point, I felt like, for people who haven't seen the franchise. There's just so much going on in this movie that you almost get a complete review of all the previous movies going before it. You get over-the-top action, there's just so much going on, it's crazy, okay? So I'm just going to go down a list of some of the stuff that I really thought was good about this film. They bring back Ripley's character, so they brought Sigourney Weaver back in this movie, and at the end of Alien 3, which I don't want to ruin it, but Ripley dies. I'm not going to explain the ending, but Ripley dies. So they had to find some way to bring her back because they wanted, she's at this point was the staple of the franchise. They had to have Sigourney Weaver back in this movie. So the easiest way to do it, let's clone Ripley. So in this movie, they basically, it's kind of silly, honestly, but they somehow have Ripley's blood they somehow have Ripley's blood available, and they use her blood to clone her. Okay, so in this film, they call her Ripley. They call her Ripley 8. And this is pretty cool. What I thought was pretty cool in this film, since she's a clone and she had the alien fetus inside of her, her blood is mixed with the alien. So, the alien queen to be exact. She has some special abilities that are kind of shared between her and this alien fetus that's inside of her. So now she's got some alien characteristics in her. She's got acidic blood, which she uses in the film. She's got a psychopathic connection with the alien queen. And she's just got increased strength and, increased reflexes. So I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, if they're going to bring back Ripley and they're going to find some clever way to bring her back, like cloning her, I feel like she's got to have something that's going, it's one of those things with these films when they bring back these characters. We've seen it before in other films. They bring them back and they're not the same as they were before. They're always enhanced in some way. So I thought that was pretty cool that they actually gave her some special abilities. And you can tell in her character she had to kind of redirect how she was going to present herself in this movie. She didn't have the same personality that she had in the previous film. She was a little different. She had this, like, I can't even really I can't even really explain what her, her personality is when because she's linked to these aliens in this movie, so she's got something different going on with her. She's just more quiet, I guess you could say. More reserved. She's not speaking up about the aliens as much in this film. And I feel like she's reserved because she's got that bond with these other aliens, and in a sense, she doesn't want to destroy the aliens because they're connected to her. So she's really reserved, she's not really speaking up, and they really just focus on her enhanced strength and her enhanced reflexes in this film. So you kind of get in the beginning of the film the sense that Ripley's going to fight these aliens, okay? And that's the kind of where they took her character in this film. So there's a lot of cool things going on in this film. Like I said, I'm going to be reading from this list. The Xenomorphs in this film, since they have mixed DNA with Ripley, they carry some human characteristics as well. So they're able to problem solve. Unlike the previous films, they have a human side to them too. They have mixed DNA with humans, so they're able to problem solve like a human would. They feel feelings. Okay, so later on in the film, we see a xenomorph hybrid of it's a hybrid of Ripley and a xenomorph. And it even kind of resembles a human in a little bit. And this hybrid actually sees Ripley as its mother, which is pretty cool. I don't know. I've got kind of mixed feelings on that, honestly. I think it's cool, but I think it's kind of silly at the same time. But Ripley has a strong bond with this alien newborn at the end of the film. And it's almost like the two of them, they don't want to destroy each other. The aliens need Ripley, and she, at the same time, has this bond with them. So, this psychic connection plays out a lot in the film. The human bonding between Ripley and the xenomorphs is real strong in this film. We see one scene in particular where there's a group of aliens, and they're all being studied, right? So, the whole purpose of them cloning Ripley was to experiment on the alien queen's embryos. They wanted to profit in some way, okay? So they've got all these embryos in confinement that they're experimenting on, and they are bringing in, they are basically kidnapping young kids and growing xenomorphs inside the kids. And some of them die, some of them are becoming mutated and stuff, and they have them in this this room on the ship, and we see this scene where there's a group of aliens that come to a full adult maturity, and they kill one of their own to use the acid and escape. And that's kind of where the plot gets real crazy, because now we have the xenomorphs running around the ship killing people. But I thought that was pretty clever how they, they kind of tapped into the problem solving that these xenomorphs, because they're mixed with humans, are kind of evolving now. And they're starting to work in packs. They got a pack mentality. In the previous films, they were kind of like, the aliens were kind of dumb in a sense. They were smart because they were aliens, but they weren't really working together. They were just animalistic, just killing people. There really wasn't any. It was just their primal instinct, and they were just killing people. In this movie, they're actually working together. They're using problem solving to figure things out, to move about the ship. And I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, talked about the xenomorph human hybrid at the end of the film. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, this film, like I said, I like this film a lot. We see a pretty strong cast in this film. We've got some notable characters. Obviously, we've got Sigourney Weaver returning, and she's got like a different role in this movie. She's now Ripley 8. She's not the same Ripley that we've seen in these other films. She's like a genetically clones. She's just an experiment, okay? We got Winona Ryder's character. I thought she was pretty good. This is one of her earlier roles. I liked her character. We've got Brad Dourif in this film. He plays kind of like a scientist, like a medical doctor, and he's experimenting on these embryos. And it's just an all-around really good cast. I thought it was an upgrade from the previous film. The previous film had some really... The characters in that film, the actors, weren't very well known. So they brought in an A-list cast in this movie. They stepped it up. It was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, this film to me, like I said, it's a good starting point. I think at this point in the franchise, they were really just trying to bring in people that hadn't been with the franchise. I feel like they lost some people in Alien 3. Alien 3 was the weaker film out of the two of them. And they had lost some of their lifelong fans that had been following the franchise since the beginning, since Alien. And so they were like, okay, what can we do to bring back some of these old fans that, fell off with the previous film? And how can we bring in a next generation, a new generation of fans with Alien Resurrection? Let's just up the ante. Let's go all out. Let's explain things a little bit more. Let's just blow up the plot. Okay? That's the best way I can explain this film. Let's blow up this plot. Let's go over the top. So, this film is just crazy what's going on. Yeah, over the top action. We got, these new, xenomorphs that are more intelligent. We got this alien hybrid. We've got experimenting on, humans and stuff. They're now, they're breeding these xenomorph fetuses inside humans. It's just, we even get one scene at the end where there's a human embryo that's holding the alien hybrid fetus inside of it. So since the xenomorphs have human blood, they're able to develop an embryo just like the human does. Okay, so they've got this alien hybrid fetus inside of it, which was crazy. Yeah, that's, to me, honestly, this movie's got so much going on, it gets confusing at times. And I feel like if this film had any downside to it, any weakness, it's just the plot gets very convoluted. There's just so much going on. They're trying to do so much with this film that at times you're just kind of confused. And that's why I had to, in all honesty with this film, I had to go back and take notes. Because like I said, this could be a 40-minute long video and I would sit there and I would lose everybody. You wouldn't know what I was talking about, and I don't want that to happen. So I kind of just wanted to focus on what's going on, what's different with this film, and what makes this film stand out compared to the others. And there's just so much going on in this film. I think it's good. I enjoy what they've done with this film, but I feel like they could have made this movie into 3 or 4 different movies, which is exactly what they were trying to do. They were trying to make this movie like this was a new beginning for the Alien franchise. Resurrection, what a great title to start a new beginning with the Alien films. And you know, all this stuff that they have in this movie, all these different changes and all this stuff that's going on in this film was to set up future films. But I feel like they tried to do too much and try to cram too much in this film that it makes it confusing at times. You don't really know what's going on. It's just people getting killed left and right. There's just aliens running around like crazy. I mean, all this, you really have to like sit here and think about what's going on with these aliens. I mean, if you hadn't seen all your previous films, you'd be like kind of confused. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this film in a nutshell. I think it's an awesome film. I like the fact that they tried to do something different. It's the entertainment factor in this film is much better than the previous film. I think it's an overall better film than Alien 3. Like I said, they stepped up the Alien special effects. There's a lot more going on. It's just an overall better film. I feel like this film gets a lot of hate because of there's just so much going on and people just can't keep up with it. And in some fans' minds, this film kind of strayed a little too far for them. There's just too much change, just too much going on. They try to explain things too much, and I feel like they lost a lot of the fans in this film, which is kind of sad because I thought this was a pretty good film in my opinion. I think it's much better than 3. I think it was a step in the right direction. Like I said, I feel like they could have left some of this out and put some of this stuff in Alien Resurrection in another film. They tried to do too much with this film, and I think it hurt it overall. But I still think it's a pretty solid film. I think they could have made more sequels to this, and I would have enjoyed watching more films. But yeah, guys, those are my thoughts on Alien Resurrection. I do enjoy this film quite a bit. If I were to rate this on a scale of 5 stars, I would give it an even 4 stars, okay? It's a pretty good film all around. I enjoy it. It's not one of the films in the franchise that I reach for very often, but I do enjoy it. When I've kind of burned myself out on some of the other films that I really do enjoy, I'll reach for this one, you know, just to kind of give myself something a little different. And if you want to see over-the-top action, if you really just love alien violence, this film's awesome. It's got a lot of it in there. It's very much more a horror film than it is a sci-fi film. There's just so much gore and guts in this film. I just enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, if you're more of a horror fan than a science fiction fan, this is a good film to see if you're introducing yourself to the Alien franchise. It's got a lot more going on than the other films. But anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on Alien Resurrection. If you enjoy this film, hit the thumbs up button. Let me know in the comment section, what are your thoughts on Alien Resurrection? Do you enjoy this film? Do you like it better than the previous film? What are your thoughts on where they could have went with this film after? Do you think it was that they could have made a trilogy or multiple films after this? Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you all think about this. And I just want to remind everybody, stay tuned. I'm going to be doing Prometheus and then Alien Covenant after this. And then on the final day, I'm going to be doing a full review of the entire franchise. I'm going to share my thoughts on all the films, and I'm going to rank the films. And then at the end, I want to talk about my thoughts on the future of this film, where we were with the original films, and where the future of the Alien franchise is going. So if you enjoyed this film, stay tuned till the end. Alright guys, take care. Till next time, take it easy.